The Godfather didn't just change cinema. It became cinema history, a whisper in a dark room, a family bound by blood, and one offer no one could refuse. But 54 years later, the legendary faces behind the Corleone empire have lived very different final chapters. Some became icons forever, while others left this world through illness, heartbreak, and tragic goodbyes. We revisit the Godfather cast, then and now. Marlon Brando was born in 1924 in Omaha, Nebraska. He was 47 when he played Vito Corleone. Quiet, heavy-eyed, and terrifying without raising his voice, Brando made the Don feel like a man who could control a room with one whisper, one pause, or one slow movement of his hand. Brando had already reshaped American acting with A Streetcar Named Desire and On the Waterfront, winning 2 Academy Awards across his career and becoming one of cinema's most studied performers. He died in 2004 at age 80 after respiratory failure linked to pulmonary fibrosis. Vito Corleone became iconic because Brando did not play power as noise. He made it slow, personal, and almost fatherly, which made the danger even colder. Every look felt like a decision, and every favor came with a shadow. James Caan was born in 1940 in the Bronx, New York. He was 31 when he played Sonny Corleone. Hot-blooded, reckless, and loyal to the point of self-destruction, Caan gave Sonny the explosive energy of a man who loved his family but could not control his fire. Caan earned major recognition with films like Brian's Song, Thief, Misery, and Elf, showing he could move from raw toughness to charm, humor, and real vulnerability. He died in 2022 at age 82 after a heart attack caused by coronary artery disease. Sonny is remembered because Caan made every emotion hit fast and hard. His anger, laughter, and loyalty all came from the same place, making him dangerous, lovable, and doomed before the audience even realized it. John Cazale was born in 1935 in Boston, Massachusetts. He was 36 when he played Fredo Corleone. Fragile, nervous, and painfully out of place in a family built on silence and power, Cazale made Fredo feel like the weak link everybody could see, but nobody truly protected. Cazale appeared in only a handful of films, yet every one became part of serious American cinema, including The Conversation, Dog Day Afternoon, and The Deer Hunter. He died in 1978 at age 42 after a battle with cancer. Fredo remains heartbreaking because Cazale never played him as a joke. He gave him fear, shame, jealousy, and a desperate need to be loved, turning the Corleone family's softest son into one of its most tragic figures. Al Soletieri was born in 1928 in New York City. He was 44 when he played Virgil Sollozzo. Smooth, dangerous, and coldly businesslike, Lettieri made the Turk feel like a man who understood that power was not personal until someone refused the deal. Lettieri built a short but memorable run of tough guy roles, appearing in The Getaway, Mr. Majestic, and McHugh, often bringing a real street-level menace to the screen. He died in 1975 at age 47 after suffering a heart attack. Sollozzo changed the whole direction of the story. Lettieri made him calm enough to be believable and ruthless enough to be frightening, the kind of villain whose quiet pressure pushed Michael Corleone toward his first real step into darkness. Richard S. Castellano was born in 1933 in the Bronx, New York. He was 38 when he played Peter Clemenza. Heavy, warm, and quietly lethal, Castellano made Clemenza feel like family at the dinner table and danger in the street, sometimes in the very same breath. Castellano earned an Academy Award nomination for Lovers and Other Strangers, then became unforgettable to crime film fans through his earthy, lived-in screen presence. He died in 1988 at age 55 after heart failure. Clemenza gave the Corleone world its old-school flavor. Castellano made him funny, practical, and absolutely loyal. The kind of man who could teach murder like a recipe and still remind you not to forget the cannoli. Sterling Hayden was born in 1916 in Montclair, New Jersey. He was 55 when he played Captain McCluskey. Heavy, corrupt, and blunt as a police baton, Hayden made McCluskey feel like the law turned rotten, a man whose badge only made him more dangerous inside the Corleone world. Hayden had already built a powerful career in films like The Asphalt Jungle, The Killing, and Dr. Strangelove, while also living a restless life as a sailor, author, and wartime veteran. He died in 1986 at age 70 after a battle with cancer. McCluskey is important because he shows Michael that power is not just in the mafia, it lives in police stations, restaurants, and respectable uniforms too. Hayden made him ugly, arrogant, and believable, turning one dinner scene into a turning point for cinema. Abe Vigoda was born in 1921 in Brooklyn, New York. He was 51 when he played Salvatore Tessio. Tired-eyed, quiet, and impossible to read too quickly, Vigoda made Tessio feel like an old family soldier who had survived by watching more than talking. Vigoda later became beloved on television as Detective Phil Fish in Barney Miller and its spin-off Fish, giving audiences a completely different side of his dry, weary presence. He died in 2016 at age 94 from natural causes. Tessio's betrayal hurts because Vigoda plays him with such calm resignation. He does not look like a wild traitor. He looks like a man making the coldest business decision of his life, and that makes his final walk even more chilling. Richard Conte was born in 1910 in Jersey City, New Jersey. He was 62 when he played Don Emilio Barzini. Smooth, elegant, and quietly poisonous, Conte made Barzini feel like the kind of rival who smiles in public while moving the knife in private. Conte had been a strong presence in crime films and noir dramas, with notable roles in House of Strangers, Thieves Highway, and The Big Combo. He died in 1975 at age 65 after suffering a heart attack. Barzini works because Conte makes him look civilized, not savage. He is not loud like Sonny or heavy like Vito. He is polished, patient, and calculating, which makes him the perfect hidden enemy at the center of the Corleone family's war. John Marley was born in 1907 in New York City. He was 64 when he played Jack Woltz. Rich, arrogant, and used to getting exactly what he wanted, Marley made the Hollywood producer feel like a man who believed money could protect him from anything. Marley had a strong career in film and television, earning an Academy Award nomination for Love Story and major praise for John Cassavetes' Faces. He died in 1984 at age 76 after open-heart surgery. Jack Woltz only appears for a short part of the story, but Marley makes him impossible to forget. His pride sets up one of cinema's most shocking warnings. In the Corleone world, disrespect always comes with a price. Al Martino was born in 1927 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was 44 when he played Johnny Fontaine. Smooth, emotional, and carrying old show business desperation, Martino made Johnny feel like a fading star still begging for one more chance. Martino was a real-life pop singer, known for hits like Here in My Heart and Spanish Eyes, with a career that stretched across decades of traditional pop music. He died in 2009 at age 82, with the cause not publicly given. Johnny Fontaine brings showbiz weakness into the Corleone family's world of power. Martino played him with wounded pride and nervous charm, like a man who had fame, lost control, and came home to the dawn for help. Morgana King was born in 1930 in Pleasantville, New York. She was 41 when she played Carmela Corleone. Quiet, watchful, and deeply traditional, King gave Mama Corleone the feeling of a woman who understood more than she ever said aloud. King was also a respected jazz singer, admired for her unusual voice, and recordings such as For You, For Me, Forevermore, and A Taste of Honey. She died in 2018 at age 87, with her death confirmed after it had not been publicly reported. Carmela stands at the edge of the family business, but King makes her presence matter. She brings warmth, silence, and old-world dignity, reminding us that the Corleone home was built on love and fear at the same time. Gianni Russo was born in 1943 in Manhattan, New York. He was 28 when he played Carlo. Slick, weak, and dangerously small-minded, Russo made Carlo feel like a man who wanted the Corleone name, but never understood the weight that came with it. Russo kept working in film, music, business, and memoir writing, later appearing in projects like The Freshman, Any Given Sunday, and Seabiscuit. As of 2026, he turns 83 years old and still remains tied to Hollywood crime film history. Carlo is remembered for all the wrong reasons, and that is exactly why the role works. Russo gave him arrogance, fear, and a selfish little hunger, making his fate feel less like a shock and more like a debt finally being collected. Diane Keaton was born in 1946 in Los Angeles, California. She was 26 when she played Kay Adams. Smart, gentle, and outside the family's dark world, Keaton made Kay feel like the last clean window into Michael Corleone's soul. Keaton won an Academy Award for Annie Hall and built a remarkable career with Reds, Baby Boom, Father of the Bride, and Something's Gotta Give. She died in 2025 at age 79 after suffering from pneumonia. Kay Adams matters because Keaton lets the innocence fade slowly. At first, she believes she can still reach Michael, but by the end, her quiet face tells us the truth. The door between love and power has already closed. Talia Shire was born in 1946 in Lake Success, New York. She was 25 when she played Connie. Fragile, emotional, and trapped inside a family where love and violence lived under the same roof, Shire gave Connie a painful kind of honesty. Shire earned Academy Award nominations for The Godfather Part 2 and Rocky, creating two very different but unforgettable women in American cinema. As of 2026, she is 80 years old and has mostly stepped away from regular screen work. Connie's story begins with celebration, but Shire makes the sadness impossible to miss. She shows a young woman swallowed by family loyalty, betrayal, and control, turning Connie into one of the saga's most wounded hearts. Robert Duvall was born in 1931 in San Diego, California. He was 41 when he played Tom Hagen. Calm, loyal, and almost frighteningly controlled, Duvall made the Corleone consigliere feel like a man who could deliver bad news softly and still make it sound final. Duvall won an Academy Award for Tender Mercies and built a legendary career with Apocalypse Now, The Apostle, Lonesome Dove, and many more. He died in 2026 at age 95, passing peacefully at home. Tom Hagen was powerful because he did not need muscle to matter. Duvall gave him intelligence, restraint, and quiet sadness, like an outsider who became family, but still knew there were doors he could never fully enter. Lenny Montana was born in 1926 in Brooklyn, New York. He was 46 when he played Luca Brasi. Huge, awkward, and terrifying in complete silence, Montana made Luca feel like the kind of man whose loyalty was comforting only if he stood on your side. Before acting, Montana had been a professional wrestler and had real underworld connections, which gave his screen presence a rough authenticity no acting class could fake. He died in 1992 at age 66 after suffering a heart attack. Luca Brasi barely appears, but Montana made him legendary. His nervous speech to Don Corleone, his massive frame, and his brutal fate turned him into a warning that even the strongest men are not safe in this world. Richard Bright was born in 1937 in Brooklyn, New York. He was 34 when he played Al Neri. Silent, watchful, and coldly professional, Bright made Michael Corleone's future enforcer feel like a man who understood orders better than emotions. Bright appeared across all three Godfather films and also worked in movies like Once Upon a Time in America, Marathon Man, and The Getaway. He died in 2006 at age 68 after being struck by a bus in New York City. Al Neri is chilling because Bright plays him with almost no decoration. He does not explain himself, smile for comfort, or waste movement. He simply becomes the quiet shape of Michael's power when mercy is no longer part of the room. John Martino was born in 1937 in Brooklyn, New York. He was 34 when he played Paulie Gatto. Slippery, nervous, and too small to understand the danger around him, Martino made Paulie feel like a man who thought he could play both sides without paying for it. Martino continued acting in films and television, with credits including Dillinger, Truck Stop Women, and later independent work. And he also won a Crystal Reel Award for Confessions of a Thug. As of 2026, he is 89 years old and remains remembered for his place in crime film history. Paulie matters because his betrayal shows how carefully the Corleone family watches everything. Martino gave him just enough sweat, arrogance, and false confidence to make his final ride feel inevitable, like the family had already closed the door before he knew it. Tony Giorgio was born in 1923 in Herkimer, New York. He was 48 when he played Bruno Tattaglia. Sharp-faced, quiet, and carrying that old-school mobster look, Giorgio made Bruno feel like a dangerous piece of a much larger family war. Giorgio was also known as a magician, and his screen career included roles in Magnum Force, American Me, and other crime-flavored parts that suited his tough presence. He died in 2012 at age 88, with the cause not widely reported. Bruno Tattaglia does not need much screen time to affect the story. Giorgio's presence helps give the rival families a face, and his fate becomes another move in the deadly chess game between power, revenge, and business. Rudy Bond was born in 1912 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was 59 when he played Don Carmine Cuneo. Heavy, formal, and old world in his bearing, Bond gave the five families meeting another hard face in a room full of men pretending diplomacy could hide blood. Bond had a long stage and screen career, appearing in A Streetcar Named Desire, On the Waterfront, 12 Angry Men, and many other respected dramas. He died in 1982 at age 69 from heart failure. Cuneo represents the old power structure Michael eventually has to crush. Bond made him feel like a man used to being obeyed, which makes the final reckoning even colder when the Corleone family turns ceremony, business, and murder into one perfect sequence. Angelo Infanti was born in 1939 in Zagarolo, Lazio, Italy. He was 33 when he played Fabrizio. Handsome, quiet, and carrying the calm smile of a man you should never trust too quickly. Infanti made Michael's Sicilian bodyguard feel friendly on the surface and dangerous underneath. Infanti worked steadily in Italian and international cinema, appearing in films like The Godfather, Letters to Juliet, Talcum Powder, and many Italian genre productions. He died in 2010 at age 71, with his cause of death not widely reported. Fabrizio's betrayal cuts deep because it happens in the one place where Michael briefly seems safe. Infanti gave him just enough warmth to make the treachery sting, turning a small Sicilian role into one of the story's most painful reminders that loyalty can be bought. Corrado Gaipa was born in 1925 in Palermo, Sicily, Italy. He was 47 when he played Don Tomasino. Gentle, watchful, and quietly powerful, Gaipa made Michael's Sicilian protector feel like a man whose authority came from respect, not noise. Gaipa worked across Italian film, television, and dubbing, and he had been expected to reprise Don Tomasino in The Godfather Part 3 before his death. He died in 1989 at age 64, with the cause not widely reported. Don Tomasino gives Michael's exile a sense of safety, tradition, and old-world protection. Gaipa played him with calm dignity, making Sicily feel beautiful but never harmless, a place where friendship mattered and danger was always close. Franco Chitti was born in 1935 in Rome, Italy. He was 36 when he played Calo, silent, loyal, and rough in a way that felt completely natural. Chitti gave Michael another Sicilian guard who seemed carved from the land itself. Chitti was closely associated with director Pier Paolo Pasolini, starring in Acatone and appearing in the Decameron, before becoming known to global audiences through the Corleone saga. He died in 2016 at age 80 in Rome. Calo does not need many words to stay in the memory. Chitti brought a raw physical presence and quiet loyalty to the role, helping make Michael's time in Sicily feel both romantic and deadly, like peace could disappear in a single flash. Al Pacino was born in 1940 in East Harlem, New York City. He was 31 when he played Michael Corleone. Quiet, watchful, and almost unreadable at first, Pacino made Michael feel like the one son trying to stand outside the family business, even as the darkness was already waiting for him. Pacino won the Academy Award for Best Actor for Scent of a Woman, and built one of the most powerful careers in American cinema, with Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon, Scarface, and Heat. As of 2026, he is 86 years old, and still remains a living icon of film. Michael Corleone became unforgettable because Pacino played the change so quietly. He did not turn into power overnight. He let it settle into his eyes, his voice, and his silence, until the young outsider became the cold center of the Corleone empire. Simonetta Stefanelli was born in 1954 in Rome, Italy. She was 17 when she played Apollonia Vitelli Corleone. Young, radiant, and almost dreamlike, Stefanelli gave Michael's Sicilian love story a fragile beauty, far away from New York's violence. Stefanelli continued acting in Italian films for years, before stepping away from the screen and later building a quieter life as an entrepreneur. As of 2026, she is 72 years old and has lived mostly outside the Hollywood spotlight. Apollonia matters because she represents the life Michael almost had before revenge found him again. Stefanelli made her warm, innocent, and unforgettable, turning a brief romance into one of the film's most haunting losses. The Corleone family may be fiction, but the actors behind it left a legacy that feels immortal. Subscribe for more powerful then and now stories from the greatest films ever made.